Hello, my darlings, my beautiful collective. You caught me just in the nick of time. So this is going to be our Oracle Tarot combo, where we start off with the Oracle deck. Today we're going to be using the Sacred Traveler deck, not to be confused with the Sacred Spirits deck, which definitely wanted to be heard the other day. So we're using the deck that I originally chose that day. See how this is going to go. And we're going to finish off with the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. So let's see where the energy lies for today. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, I go by Nick of Time Tarot. Let us see what the energy's like for today's journey. All right, our starting energy is discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth, okay? This, I believe, is a message all about authenticity, right? What does it mean to be authentic? What is your soul calling you to do, to be, to say, right? And when you have that opportunity with the people around you, do you take advantage of that and speak from your heart, from your soul? Or do you allow others to dim your light, right? This is all about aligning your soul to purpose. What is next? Miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge. See, this is what happens when we're in alignment with our true self. Imagine what magic unfolds before our very eyes. The universe, because you are so in tune and giving of yourself, gives back to you in equal measure. So you can make miracles happen with your words, with your thoughts, right? Because our words and our thoughts are currency in the spiritual realm. It's all about manifesting, right? The Christians use prayer, right? And Wiccans, or those who practice magic, may do spells. But for the simple spiritual, they may just manifest. It's basically the same thing. It is using your head, heart, soul to call in what it is that you truly desire. I know it's a bit oversimplification of it. Don't come at me in the comments for that. Just understand that there are commonalities between the different methodologies of those who would practice religion or those who would be spiritual, right? And this is all about an exploration of the common threads that bind us to the human experience. So, what is next? Passion and pleasure. Savor your life, right? Definitely. Life is meant to be enjoyed, to be shared. Have you found your soul family, your soul tribe? Is it being part of this collective? We're glad to have you, by the way, if this is your first time joining us. Let us see what else. Crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. Okay. Absolutely. It's about building bridges and networks, right? Repairing things that are broken. How can we do that? How can we show up for ourselves and for others? First, we have to show up for ourselves. And it's not selfish. This is about self-love, right? This journey often is. Because it's only once our cup is filled that overflow from our own cup, that joy, that happiness can be poured into someone else's cup. And you can give of your time and energy without depleting yourself. Faraway places. Get ready for new horizons. Where will your magic take you, right? What adventures are you set to go on? What are you looking forward to explore? Wandering path, I can't talk. Enjoy the journey. Oftentimes it's not the destination, but it is the journey that we're on, right? That's where we grow. That's where we learn. What new things are we going to see? New people are we going to meet there along the way? And when we look back, if we would have taken the most direct route, think of all the things we would have missed. The sights, the smells, the tastes, the people, the experiences. Life is a journey. Enjoy it. Grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. Remember to be grateful. Honor your truth and the experience and the journey. Interesting. So the next one that's coming out says first light, beginning a new cycle. Maybe we are on this new cycle here, huh? I feel like there is this energy of newness infused in the air, right? It's time for a new cycle to begin. We're closing out old chapters of our lives, and we're starting a whole new adventure, a whole new book. Staying focused, hold the course, right? What vision do you have for yourself, for your future? Are you staying true to that vision? If you don't know, maybe it's time for you to explore that. Overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. All right. Let's take one final card, the bottom of the deck, our last bit of guidance. Wondrous universe. Walk in beauty. Yeah? I feel like that person or the figure that is on that card reminds me of the magician. Though this person be a bit older, right? It also reminds me of perhaps a wizard. The magician card in the tarot tells us that we have all of the tools in order to accomplish what we desire. It is masculine creative energy. It's using the tools like the wand, the cup, the pentacle, and the sword to create from those elements our desired reality. So how are you going to use your magic? What are you going to call in? Let's see where that journey takes us. Switching over to the tarot, let's let the journey begin, right? So we're using, again, the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. Let's see where we're going. And it also shows us a bit of the past, where we've come from. To those that are new to tarot as well, many people think that tarot predicts the future. It actually reads energy. So this is what we're doing. We're reading the energy that we, as the collective, have brought to this point in time. It is a snapshot, but energy changes, and it changes with every decision that we make. Our first card, and I can't say that I'm surprised to see this card. It has come out in so many of my readings as of late. The Seven of Swords. Okay, let's dive into that. The Seven of Swords represents a bit of trickster energy. It often is someone is trying to get away with something. It, oddly enough, was also in the 3-card read for today, I believe. It is this energy of or I would say that it might have been one of the versions. I think we had to refilm it. So, but nevertheless, Seven of Swords. This is the energy of, again, someone trying to get away with something, maybe not seeing something clearly. Something may be obscured. This can be the energy of someone acting very calculated. Someone may be trying to either cheat their way or take the advantage in some sense, setting something up, right? This can also be an energy of self-sabotage. So focused on doing something that not seeing that what they're doing is not only not going to work, but get them in trouble. So this tends to be that energy there. Let's see what our potential or challenge energy is. We have 2 cards that popped out here. We have both the Empress and the Four of Wands. So I feel the original energy is, again, a bit of maybe someone trying to get away with something, or some opposition, something that may not be revealed, or something that may be a bit hidden. And we have the Empress, which talks about divine feminine energy, standing in their power, perhaps about fertility, manifestation energy. The Empress gives birth to things. It's not only live humans, right? But the Empress can also represent giving birth to a project or a relationship or a manifestation, something that you desire very badly. The Four of Wands talks about celebration, success, victory. But the Four of Wands also represents the number 1111, which is tied to sometimes spiritual ascension, enlightenment, twin flames, if you believe in the label, and maybe union or reunion. But first, before there is this reunion with our divine counterpart or partner, there has to be this union of self. Maybe someone is self-sabotaging a little bit. This elevation into Empress energy, or self-sabotaging a union here. More clarity is needed, so let's dive on further into the energies that we're dealing with so we can gain a bit more knowledge of this situation. So oddly enough, our next stop is the focus on. What do we need to focus on in order to correctly use this guidance? Knight of Cups. The Cups are all about emotions, and the Knights are all about movement. So I do feel like there is this movement of emotion or something that you desire coming your way. For some, it can be something like a proposal. This can also represent someone coming forth with an apology. Whatever is coming towards you, there is movement here, and it is going to stir in you some emotion. Maybe something that you've wanted very badly, something that you deserve, like I said, like the apology. Or maybe this is something that's going to create tears of joy, the proposal, or commitment. There are various things that represent this Knight of Cups, but it's somewhere along the idea of a presentation, a presenting of something that's going to evoke emotions. What is the strength position here? Our strength position is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles represents personal abundance, or it can also be seen as self-worth, self-value. What do you bring to the table? And do you recognize that what you bring to the table is value? What is your self-worth or self-value? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as someone who is worthy? As someone who has value and is not dependent on someone else to validate you? That's what we're talking about. That self-worth, self-value, feeling good on your own, being able to stand on your own, not being codependent, right? Our recent past is the Three of Wands. Oftentimes, the Three of Wands is about expansion and growth. But interestingly enough, this Three of Wands is actually looking backwards as it sits on my board. So you may be looking back at a certain point in your life or history here. The Three of Wands may also represent third-party situation. Maybe there were more people involved in, if this is a connection, maybe someone else that your person was with. That can certainly be the energy here. What is the path forward? What is the near future? The near future is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so, and it's coming towards this connection, perhaps. Something, maybe a connection involving the Empress and the Four of Wands, a reunion. The Knight of Wands, again, it's all about movement, right? And what is moving your way? Something that you desire, because the wands represent passion, but they also represent manifestations as well. So maybe there's a manifestation that you really desire, and it looks like it's riding in, right? Maybe an opportunity with someone. Maybe it's someone offering you passion, but are they offering you commitment as well? That's the question, right? So what is our suggested approach as we see this coming our way? What is our suggested approach? our suggested approach is the Ten of Cups. It's to focus on what is going to be our greatest happiness. The Ten of Cups represents total emotional fulfillment. So when this presentation of desire, when whatever this is rides in for you, stop and ask yourself, is this what I truly want? Do I still want this? Right? Is this what's going to make me happy? Sometimes whatever rides in quickly, because that Knight of Wands does come in very spirited, right? Very passionate, very spicy sometimes. But the chemistry may not last. It may be good for a romp in the hay, but at the end of the day, it may leave you unsatisfied that there's no consistency or that there's no other substance, anything other than just chemistry. It takes more than that to build a relationship, right? What do you need to know? Two of Swords. You need to make a decision. There is a bit of energy here. You might even feel stuck. You already even know what this decision that you have to make, it's all about. I feel like perhaps someone came in, you recognize the connection, but they may not have been able to give you fully what you wanted. Maybe they weren't free to do that. Maybe they prioritized other people or things in this connection besides you. And now there may be a return. But the question is there still enough love left in the tank? Or has the love run out? Only you can answer that. What is the hope and or fear? The hope and or fear for this is the Two of Wands. Interesting. Two of Wands is also about a decision, right? But Two of Wands, I don't know what's going on over here. Two of Wands also means taking a step forward. It's picking a direction. And it's like, hell, let's see where we go, right? Whatever is going to happen here, I feel like the hope, or the fear rather, I feel like it's the fear. I feel like the fear is, maybe even on the side of your person, is that you've moved on from this connection. But I also feel, in as much as that's your person's fear, I feel like it's your hope. You want to move forward. You just don't know how. So let's see what the final answer is, because those flipped out rather in the nick of time, huh? Oh. So I've got Page of Cups and the Eight of Cups. The Page of Cups talks about surprise communication of love, an offer of love. And the Eight of Cups talks about walking away from something that no longer serves you. What's very interesting is how this sits on my board is this person is sitting over here looking at their cup filled with love, hoping to have a shot. But it almost looks like the other person has walked off. Interestingly enough, it almost looks like it can be a setting sun. The setting sun would be a symbol of this person, perhaps the divine feminine in this case, because I kind of strongly feel like it is. I feel like the divine feminine has been the one that has been put on the shelf, has been unprioritized. And so I feel like looking at those Eight of Cups, it was not enough for this divine feminine. So what is she doing? She's walking towards the sun, towards her truth, towards her power. Interestingly enough, that sun is divine masculine energy, But if it is the setting of the sun, the moon is about to rise. This is feminine, divine feminine power. And a full moon actually would be about releasing and letting go. I feel like Spirit has shown the divine feminine the way. Perhaps it's letting go. Interestingly enough, at the bottom of the deck, we have a divine masculine, King of Swords. So the King of Swords energy, usually masculine air energy, this is someone who is a bit detached. This is someone who's very intellectual or can communicate well, I would say articulate, or someone who is about to speak their truth. This is someone who makes decisions, who's confident, but who usually makes those decisions with their mind instead of their heart. And so maybe someone is about to reveal something. I say truth because also on this card is a microphone, speakers behind them, and he's holding on to this book that says truth. So maybe there is a confession coming. And I really get the sense that it's almost too little, too late. With the Page of Cups, I feel like perhaps the page representing, in this case, maybe the divine masculine's capacity. Maybe that they have this small cup of love that they would love to offer, but there's a bit too much fear. And so, as they see this divine feminine walk away, they figure it's now or never. So here's my truth. But to the divine feminines, some of us on this journey are going to be open-minded to allow for perhaps another chance. Others see that there is no more or nothing more here in this relationship for them. Follow your intuition and the guidance of your own heart. Your intuition is your internal compass. It is your truth. It will lead you on the correct path. What will you choose? Only you know what's best. If you need help, I offer my services as a guide. Also, I would recommend that you consult with your angels or your spirit team, right? They're here to guide you as well. Wishing you peace, love, and light. Until next time.